Hello everyone, my name is John Michael Bushman and welcome back to Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel. I take a break for a week and a lot, and I mean a lot, happens here on Master Duel. Although granted, I took a break on like the last week of the rank ladder, so now we're in a brand new season, so now I'm going to do my monthly thing where I update you guys on how I'm doing on the rank ladder, but along those lines, and it should be releasing by the time this video, well, not really by the time this videos come out, but around the time that I'm recording this video, the update should be live and has been live for about 30 minutes since the start of this recording. And there was a Banlist update that was announced during the last 2 weeks of November, where we will have a lot of stuff added back into the game, specifically only for Master Duel though. So, a lot of people already knows by this point, so this is a better late than never Banlist update video on my side of things. And they actually released two of these things for some weird reason. They kept another one separate, and I will not be including it here. You guys will just have to, stare at this one screen, and then I will just include the other ones that they included on a separate announcement for some weird reason. But I guess the main reason why it was separate, because I guess it was a last-minute addition, because it's pretty scary. We'll get there when we get there. So, without further ado, let's head on to the updates. First off, we have on the limited section, nothing was banned, by the way. Just a lot of unlimits, semi-limits, and unlimits of all things. So, starting with the limited section, Runic Fountain, semi-limited in TCG, limited in the OCG. So, this is following more the logic of the OCG, where they're limiting the very engine that makes Runic the most annoying deck to play against, right next to Fluanderies. Nothing more I can say about that. Let's just move on to the next one, Math Mech Diameter. I have it here in my notes written as Math Meth. I don't know why, but there we go. In the TCG and OCG, this thing is wholly unlimited. I guess just as well. Math Mechs, for as good and as competent a combo deck they are in the paper game, here in the digital simulators, it's especially in best of one, it's all over the place and very hard to get past. So good on them for limiting diameter. Good God, you will not be missed. And then the following limits are on the separate ban and restricted update. So these ones are scary. It's not here on the screen that you see here, it's on the second one. So again, if I say these names, it's going to trigger a lot of PTSD for you older players. First up on the limited docket, they're really bringing them all back. Redux and Tidal. They are both back here on Master Duel at one apiece, and it's still banned over there in the paper game. Both ways, by the way. So we now have full power Dragon Daddies here on Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel. Redux and Tidal, one apiece. Redux is the Monster Reborn, Tidal is the Foolish Burial. Tempest, I don't even know what that guy does, because he's like the weakest of the four. Blaster is a pop, so, and he's at 2, by the way. Tempest is also at 2, and oh my God, we have full power Dragon Rulers here on Master Duel. I do not know what to say. I am honestly scared of the future of level 7 spam in this game, and with Galaxy Tomahawk still being around, I am very scared of the YouTube YouTube Yu-Gi-Oh! Replay videos that will be coming out of this ban list. Oh my God, it is warranted for some experimentation outside of the cheesy strats that the Dragon Rulers are known for because of their insane power level, but if you do indeed use them fairly, they are pretty powerful in their own right. In a vacuum, Redux works well with the water. Each of the Dragon Daddies work in their respective elements, so they're going to be splashed everywhere from now on, unless of course Konami decides, you know what, they're too problematic in a best of one format, we should just put them back behind bars all over again. So this is a wait and see kind of thing. Although granted, I may build a rank 7 spam deck sometime in the future if I do indeed get the UR points to make this utterly expensive deck. So we'll get there when we get there. And then, two other cards that are coming off of the ban list. Monkey Board and Rat Pier. These cards are both limited in the paper game, and they're gonna come back here in Master Duel as well. These two cards were banned for the longest time. Monkey Board in particular, this smiling fucker has been banned for way longer than Rat Pier ever has been. Although granted, Rat Pier is limited to one solely because of the fact that you cannot loop multiple Rat Piers underneath all of your zodiacs. But Monkey Board goes very, very well with Skullcrabat Joker and Plushfire, thus forming one of the most consistent combo decks this game has ever seen. But they've been power crept ever since, and with Electromite being around, pendulum decks have never been any better. Honestly, you may be a fan of thrift gaming, but good God, pendulums are gonna have to do a lot if they want to be meta viable ever again. So yeah, those are all of the limits, and now we move on to the semi-limits, which is also a lot, which is insane. First on the semi-limits, we have Signet Mining of all things. I don't know why. I guess they really want to hurt the Cyber's combo decks really, really badly by limiting diameter, and then now here Signet Mining. I guess they will now have at least 3 slots to work with to, put in some non-engine, but that would hurt the consistency of the deck. But given how robust the Cyber's card pool is, I don't really see this being too much of a problem. Because we have full power Salamangreat here on Master Duel, with Mirage Stalio and Gazelle, I believe, being wholly unlimited or maybe just limited at the very least. And they're doing just fine. I don't see this affecting other Cybers decks apart from, the Wombo Combo Cybers decks that end on Dark Fluid Matter Dragon, if I remember that guy's name correctly. Editing me put it up on screen. That I just called that dragon Dark Fluids, for obvious 13-year-old reasons. But yeah, there, Silent Mining being semi-limited here on Master Duel. Up next is the other Dragon Daddy to be semi-limited, Tempest. Him and Blaster are definitely the two weaker Dragon Rulers because they just do stop. They're just removal dragons, essentially. Tempest, I really do not remember the effects of this card at all off the top of my head, because he is like the Dragon Ruler that gets forgotten more often than not, compared to its other brothers. So I'm not too worried about it, but now that we have literally all of the Dragon Rulers playable here on Master Duel, I am definitely scared of the future, because Galaxy Tomahawk is also freaking legal here. So I am not going to be surprised at all if Galaxy Tomahawk gets banned somewhere down the line. Up next, we have Pot of Desires being semi-limited. So this is also semi-limited in the paper game, and I guess it's just following suit. Almost all of the pots here on Master Duel are limited in some way, shape, or form, and I am all the happy for it. Good on Pot of Avarice for literally dodging the bullet multiple times, but currently Pot of Avarice has been extremely niche in its use, so I don't really see it getting hit by a ban hammer anytime soon. So there's also that. Up next, we have Quick Launch of all things. See, this is why some people have said that this ban and restricted update is sometimes nonsensical, because you're semi-limiting Quick Launch. What, are you really hurting the Dragon combo decks, or hell, even the Cybers combo decks that much by limiting Quick Launch? Really? It's unlimited in the paper game, and granted, going back a bit, Tempest is also still limited in the paper game, but Quick Launch, really, of all of the hits, I mean, granted, it's a best of 1 format, but good God, you could have done something better here, Konami. Although, granted, Quick Launch is not once per turn in the slightest, so I guess hitting it will limit a lot of the Wombo combo decks, especially the Synchro version of Dragon Link, where it's just combo, chameleon all over the place, and it's a wait and see kind of thing. So we'll have to find out in a few months down the line. Another weird thing that was hit on the ban list, Chaos Space. Although granted, this was hit on in the paper game. In the TCG, it's limited. In the OCG, it's wholly unlimited. Chaos Space is definitely a hit to the Wombo Combo Dragon Link decks. Because that deck plays with a lot of lights and darks. So this is a check to all of those combo decks that you probably seen a YouTube YuGiOh replay for, where you have like EDM or dubstep playing in the background, and then you have bam 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 bam. You just see cards being played left and right, and then you have the animation, the summon animations, but they're not really explaining what they do. Hell, the description it doesn't even tell you what the deck list is. You know those kinds of videos. But Chaos Space, going back here, Chaos Space being semi-limited is not gonna do too much, but with all of the other bans and restrictions here on Master Duel, again, it's applying literally as I'm recording this video. It's been 30 minutes since the update. Chaos Space, it won't be missed, but I will not be surprised if this gets ultimately banned, because it's making Chaos decks just a little too consistent. And then up next, I'm going to put these two cards together because they're literally part of the same archetype. Purrely himself and Purrely Delicious Memory. Purrely himself is wholly unlimited in the paper game, but in the paper game, Delicious Memory is limited in the TCG and semi-limited in the OCG. So in the TCG, oh my god, I peaked. Oh my god, I scratched my throat there for a second. I think I'm gonna have a drink of water. Just a little sippy. Just to clear it up a bit. Okay, so in the TCG at least, Delicious Memory, they saw that it's the finisher of the deck, and it also doesn't ensure that your X-Purrleys don't hit like ridiculous numbers, because having just 2 of Delicious Memory can bump Noir's defense to like 7,000 if you have about, I think, 8 materials underneath her. And if you have that much, it's like at least 1,000 plus 1,500 on the as a boost from Delicious Memory alone. So that's like 3,000 from 2 copies. So that makes Noir's numbers hit ridiculously high. And I've also managed to create an X-Purrely Happiness where he had around 12,000 attack, and that's not even counting for the initial burn that the opponent receives as he attacks. So there's also that. So yeah, semi-limiting it hurts the consistency a bit here on Master Duel. I mean, the TCG is like Purrely has been like gutted significantly in the paper game. Because of this freaking limit, but in the OCG it's doing just fine. Although in the OCG they did go another direction where they instead also hurt Sleepy Memory, if I remember correctly, where it's the draw engine that makes the deck tick like crazy. Although you do have to time it right, because if you don't time it right, you will miss your draw window. You're gonna see it if it happens here during my recording. But the weirdest part about this is Purrely being semi-limited. I guess they really wanted to hurt the consistency without really hurting too much of the consistency, because Purrely is pretty goddamn popular, and I'm one of those contributors to that number. So there's also that. I will not honestly be surprised if this gets, if they act in a more heavy-handed way in controlling Purrely in the future, now that Purrely Noir is nearing the horizon here, and we will finally get the other rank 2 that this deck desperately needs. So there's also that. And finally, on the semi-limits, we have Stove Torby from the Labyrinth deck. This is wholly unlimited in the paper game. I guess this is just to hurt the consistency of the deck just a little bit. Although from the stories that I hear, surprisingly, both Kashtira and Labyrinth, if you draw into the wrong halves of your deck, you are pretty much a sitting duck and then you watch your opponent combo off all over your face. But Torby, I don't really see Labyrinth that much anymore, which is why I broke down a lot of my ultra rares so that I can craft Triple Tactics Thrust, just as a way to fish out all of the powerful one-offs that I have in the deck nowadays. It has turned it, Triple Tactics Thrust is a card that I did not believe in at first, but after playing with it a couple of times, I can definitely see why it is like $50 to $60 in paper, maybe even more. I haven't really checked TCG Player and other similar websites for price tags on that. But on Stove Torby, you will not be missed. I will not be honestly be surprised if Labyrinth suffers more hits in the future. And finally, the unlimits. Now this section is going to be just a little bit insane here. You see stuff on screen here. We're not going to talk about the other one. We're going to talk about the other one first. We're going to talk about the bird first. We're going to talk about Cobalt Sparrow. This was limited in the OCG. Again, the Master Duel ban list is just an import from an outdated OCG ban list, and Cobalt Sparrow should not have been hit in the first place. This just makes the lureless decks a little more consistent now that they have 3 copies of Cobalt Sparrow. So full power, we have full power lureless now. And hell, even when I was playing this deck way back when, basically during around the start of Master Duel, having 2 Cobalt Sparrow, you won't really feel it, because you just have so many ways to get to your power plays that having one less bird is not really a problem. But then I'm going to put these 2 cards side by side. Oh boy, Mommy Trident and Zodiac Barrage are now both unlimited here on Master Duel. We almost have full power Zodiac here on Master Duel. Broad Bull is still a goddamn fucking problem, so we don't need him around here. But full 3 Trident, 3 Barrage, really, Konami? Granted, you only really need the 1 Trident. I think the more optimal builds way back when had 2. At least, the very least, we don't have Shockmaster, because good God, we do not want to unlock the Shock at all. Okay, please, players, please stop requesting unlocking the Shock. I will be happy for a Rongominiad unbanned though, but he is way too problematic and he's way too easy to be abused. So I can understand why he needs to be put behind bars alongside his abusive boyfriend, Gossip Shadow. But this, Mommy Trident and Zodiac Barrage, we're done. Oh my God, we are going to be so done. We're going to be seeing a huge resurgence of Tri-Brigade Zodiacs all over again, as if we're playing early 2021 again. Oh my freaking God, we are going to be in for quite a ride here on Master Duel. But at the very I'm not too worried about it though, because Tri-Brigade Zoo is extremely reliant on their graveyard, and if Arise Heart is still around, I do not see Tri-Zoo becoming too much of a problem. Although granted, with the amount of disruption and the amount of resiliency that deck has, I can definitely see it pushing past a lot of the stuff that Kashtira throws at it. But I am just talking out of my ass here, because I'm not too deep into the weeds of Master Duel analytics. So I'm going to let Decayed and other more prominent content creators do that. This is just me, throwing my opinion out there, hoping it will be heard somewhere. So without further ado, that is the end of the ban list update here on Master Duel. Pretty interesting. A lot of questionable ones, but a lot of surprising ones as well. So this is going to be an insane ride from here on out. We have full power Dragon Rulers with Galaxy Tomahawk still being freaking legal and at unlimited copies, mind you. So we're going to expect more FTKs from here on out. Although there's also a power boost to Kashtira, because a lot of them have level 7s, and a lot of other hits as well to a lot of other decks. So today is the first video of the month. Well, the first YuGiOh video of the month, because I took a break. We're going to be playing with Purrely. Let's see you guys in duels. Okay, and first duel of the day, and there's an earthquake happening right freaking now. I can feel my entire desk is freaking shaking, but yeah, okay, it's done now. There's also like a brand new cosmetic update here on Master Duel, and a lot of people are. I'm going to be saving up gems for it. I'm just gonna grind for it. God damn it! I'm not gonna pay a cent. I've already paid my dues for this game, so I'm not going to do too much else with it. And my opponent's name is Unban Hulk. Absolutely not, good sir. I do not want to see that fuckface all over ever again here on this goddamn game. Oh my God, that card was a goddamn mistake. More than anything else, Hulkify Brax was a goddamn mistake. If only he summoned Cristrons, he would be fine. But no, he had to summon any generic tuner, and he can be made with anything generic. And we're seeing one of the newest heroes out of the latest selection packs, Manadium. Alright, this is a Synchro Wombo combo deck featuring Visas Starfrost. So we have Rimheart, What the fuck does this guy do? During your main phase, if it's a hand graveyard, target a Manito monster. Okay, it special summons itself. Okay, so it literally just special summons itself. So normal special summon. I guess I should stop this. It may be too early. It could just be bait because he still has 4 cards in hand. And knowing Visas, he will probably use his ability to destroy this. But I'm going to hurt the consistent. I'm going to try to hurt my opponent's consistency right here, right now. I hope that's enough. Yes, it is indeed enough. Although 2 back row is already pretty goddamn scary. All right. Draw phase. What do we get here? Called by the Grave. That's not going to do too much just yet. So we're going to bait out an Ash Blossom here because my opponent has 2 freaking cards in hand. Let's see what Lily has for us. I mean, this could also be infinite impermanence, in which case I am fucked 3 ways until Sunday. Okay, cool. I think we should go for the Nightingale line here. Although this will be negated, so I think, yeah, we're going to go for the Nightingale line since we're not going to be setting up too much over here. So we're gonna discard the Sleeping Memory we have in hand. Yes, I would like to do that. And there we go. We discard that. We'll get Purrely himself. Freshly semi-limited. There we go. Avoiding the Imperm column. We're not going to do that. We are good Yu-Gi-Oh players here. There we go. Okay, Purrely himself activates. Do you have an Ash Blossom opponent? Remember the Imperm column. It's already like visually marked for a reason. All right. Again, with Purrely, I am more scared of Ash Blossom than I am scared of Max C because you should only really give your opponent 3 to 4 draws at the very most. Anything beyond that, you are giving your opponent way too much. But here, I think this is fine. We're not going to go for the wombo combo broke ass line anyway. And we got the continuous. All right. We're getting somewhere, but we're not going to do that one just yet. Sad that we're going to put triple tactics thrust at the very bottom, but that's fine. And my opponent concedes. He can definitely see the writing on the wall. So good on them for realizing that. No, we will not unban Hulk. So let's move on to the next duel. Going second once again. Let's see what my opponent has for us here. Alright, we're going to perform something that is wholly enabled by the new UI here, by the new changes to the UI. We're gonna perform the Max C check. My opponent had nothing, so now they're under Max C during their draw phase. And they are playing Scareclaw, the anti-Kashtira pick. Alright, we have something that will contest that, and believe me when I say I more often than not end up with Max C in my hand like 8 times out of 10, like consistently. I do not know why, but it's there. It is always freaking there. We're going to ash that. I think ashing the field spell is always more impactful than ashing Lightheart here. I could be wrong because they already used the searcher to search they already used a searcher to search a searcher, so stopping the second searcher will hopefully, you know, stop them in their tracks, and it ultimately did. All right, we are wholly protected because we have both cross-off designator and called by the grave, so we are protected like 3 ways until Sunday here. We're going to go with our one of evenly matched first. I always have this in my opening hand for some freaking reason. If he leaves the back row behind, that means I should be just a little bit scared. But that is wholly dependent on what my opponent could have. Alright, cool. I am now very skilled. We're going to normal summon as bait here. Let's see what my opponent potentially has. No, it just passes priority right freaking back. Alright, we're going to get my friend Purrely. Then we're going to activate it. Do you have something for this opponent? No, you do not. Well, not yet anyway. We're going to see what else he could have for me here, and still nothing. Okay, we already have Happy Memory, so we should get at least 1 Sleepy Memory. So let's see here. All right, 2 out of 3. Do you give us the 70%? Do we fail the 70%? We're going to find out soon enough. Opponent is hopefully going to try to screw me over here. All right, no, he failed. All right, so we're going to activate Delicious Memory here. We're going to target Lily, and we should summon because we will not be doing anything else otherwise. And my opponent has proven that they don't really have anything else here, but I think I should discard the Called by the Grave more than the Crossout Designator, because Crossout Designator also stops infinite impermanence. So there's that. Alright, we're going to summon one of the Purrelys. We're going to activate that ability. Still nothing from my opponent here. Alright, we get the other Delicious Memory, and we even have a choice for Pretty Memory. I think getting Pretty Memory is honestly better for this specific situation. Oh my god. I think getting Pretty Memory is way more Gucci there. Alright. Now we're going to activate Lily's effect. Assuming my laptop recovers. There we go. So we're going to target the Delicious Memory there. We're going to summon Plump. There we go. Get Plump down. Still, I am horribly excited for Purrely Noir making it into this game. Like, holy freaking shit. So we're going to absorb 2, because that's really all we can do here. All right. Then we're going to use Pretty Memory. There we go. Oh dear God, please survive until the end of this freaking turn. I want to survive until the end of this turn. Oh my God. Come on. Come on. Come on, boy. You can do it. Come on, my little war machine. You can do it. There we go. All right. Then chain blocking with Happy Memory. And then we do Purrely Plump. There we go. And this should all be absorbed. There we go. All right. So that... Do we banish a card? Absolutely not. There we go. We will protect my friend Purrely from being destroyed for a turn. There we go. That happens as well. There we go. We both gain 1,000. No, we will not. Alright. Then we will activate Pretty Memory. Sending Purrely to the graveyard. Don't worry, boy. We'll get you back later. Then we will absorb the lone back row my opponent has. What was it? Oh, Twin Saw. Yeah, one of the better pieces of support that the Vsauce deck got. Only a one of, usually. And sometimes, more often than not, it's more than enough. Right? Now we just end on a really huge Noir. I think this is 8-mat. Yeah, 8-mat Noir with 5,200 defense. So good luck walking over that opponent. Although, our goal right now is to prevent my opponent from making Scareclaw Tryhard. If I remember that guy's name correctly, basically the Link monster that sets all my monsters in defense position, and they were unaffected by monsters that are in defense position, so there's also that. Go ahead and do that, opponent. Noir is not affected in the slightest. You just wasted an infinite impermanence. I hope you're realizing that. And that is, my friends, what you call the scoop of shame. So, chalk 1 up to that for my opponent not reading the card. Let's move on to the next duel. My opponent made me go second, so that is already horrifying, and my opponent is carrying an extra thick deck. Let's see what they have in store for us here. Let's see. 60 cards. It could literally be any of the Wombo combo decks. So they are using the default field of all things, so that is also adding to the horrifying factor. Setting 1, they bricked to high fucking heaven. That is not surprising in the slightest. Alright, but we don't have any defenses against whatever bullshit my opponent could potentially have here. But I don't think it really matters. So we're gonna find out. We're gonna test the waters right freaking now. Purrely effect. Nothing. Of course they don't. All right. While I would love to get the field spell, we need more of this. Unfortunately, we're gonna have ways to get that anyway. So I think that's fine. We're going to go for the Lyrilisk line here more than anything else because our hand sucks. We're not going to do too much with it. So we're gonna do this. Get our 2 copies of Purrely that are legally allowed to be put in our decks. So we're gonna look again. See, the 3rd copy was there on top of the deck the whole time. We should not have been worried in the slightest. All right. So we're going to return those back. Unfortunate, but we're going to go for the Nightingale line. There we go. We're going to keep it very, very simple because my opponent could potentially have a lot of bullshit lined up for us here. So we're just going to attack Pekin for 800 points of damage. Not a lot, but our goal here is to make Zeus. So there's that. Like, there's no better backup monsters for Xyz right now than Zeus. Unless, of course, Typhon comes into the game. Probably a few more months down the line. It's going to be a while before Typhon gets into this game. We're going to go through more support for Vanadium first before anything else. So there's that. All right. So we do that. Then we go into Zeus. There we go. All right. We're going to see. I mean, I don't know what those back row are. So you're gonna find out here with me. We're gonna put that there. It scared the hell out of my opponent. Then on their draw step, they draw a card. Will they be able to combo off from there? We don't know yet, but I will perform the max C check once the game allows me to do so, or if my opponent concedes right here, right now, which is always a possibility. All right. Max C check. Do you have a defense for this opponent? I assume you do because you have a lot of cards. No, you do not. All right. Now that we have performed the max C check, we can bring the reaction time back to automatic. All right. Let's see what my opponent could potentially have here. They're under max C. They're under threat of a Zeus with 2 activations. They don't know about my back row. My opponent could potentially have nothing here. Just pass a turn, stall for time somehow. So we're going to see where. Okay, fine. My opponent does not allow that to happen. Okay, sure. That is completely fine by my books. Delicious memory, yes, that's good. But we have something much better. We have a 12-foot tall robot, maybe even taller. Zeus is probably like 30 feet tall at the minimum. So there's that. We're gonna find out what the set card is here. Ooh, somebody's playing old school. Or this could just literally be 60 card Sword Soul, because you don't just put Chi-Wen and friends in a deck for no goddamn reason other than the fact that you're gonna wombo combo into Oblivion here. All right. Let's see what my opponent could potentially have here. Okay, you finally have a starter. You have no punk. Because you've been struggling the entire game, I will shotgun this searcher now. Unless you have Called by the Grave. All right, you do have a Called by the Grave. That is to be expected, but that does not mean you are safe. I still have an infinite permanence that I will use without impunity. So there is that. Okay. You use Called by on the Ash Blossom. Probably won't get any better. Although, funny that he didn't use it on the Max C. But I guess he's like me where, Ash Blossom is a lot scarier compared to Max C. But Max C is going to make me draw more cards, which is always Gucci. Okay. So we're going to allow Zeamin to hit the field here, and then when they activate their effect, we're going to tell them and their mother to never come by our neighborhood ever again. Of course, this could also just be excellent bait. Because they could use Zeamin here to do literally anything else. But if you're just going to pass, then we are in for a very easy ride. Unless, of course, my opponent pivots into something that will completely turn the game around, which is always a possibility, especially with YuGiOh. So I'm not gonna make you guys sit through this. I will be the one to do it. I'll just see you guys at the next interesting point. Okay, we're back, and well, my opponent really was playing 60-card Sword Soul for some weird reason. Thrice they might, every time they gain an inch of advantage, I push them back several inches further. So yeah, they were not able to get a foothold in the duel at all, because I literally had all of the outs. So I now know how some of my opponents feel whenever they have all the outs and drawing to the right cards at the right time in the right sequence. So we're gonna cut it here. That will be our little romp through the rank ladder today. Purrely has been performing rather poorly as of late, actually. You may have seen, how I did in this video, but this is a statistical anomaly, honestly. Because sometimes I win as much as I lose, especially on certain runs. So yeah, this isn't reflective of how ladder on Purrely is. You always win as much as you lose. lose, because sometimes you lose to yourself, especially if you're not drawing to the right stuff. So that's how it is with playing with Purrely. Although with Purrely Noir coming in soon, that will hopefully mitigate a lot of the problems that this deck has. But without further ado, if you like what you saw, hit like, comment, subscribe, and share this among your friends. And until next time, toodles.